Hello everyone, welcome to episode 13 of Football Manager 2020. We have a bit of a longer episode today because I'm going to have to bridge this whole 46-day gap until my next match. But we've got a transfer window in there, so interesting stuff should happen. And if nothing else, at least my team will get a chance to finally heal up a bit. I've got some new players coming in on the 1st of January, just to abuse my payroll a little bit more. We actually did pretty well in that second match, even though we drew it. Walker was the only really disappointing performance there. Given the strength of the team I was bringing, I'm quite happy with that. Hopefully I can fly through this section of just training fairly quickly and get to the transfer window, because shouldn't be a whole lot interesting happening there. I think I will let Boshoff leave because gets him off the books, and let's be honest, I am never going to play him. I'd like to hang on to Sammy Seaby if possible. I suspect I'm going to lose him too. And it wouldn't be the biggest loss, but I'd like to try to hold on to him. I need some veteran presence in the locker room. I don't think I really have the finances to send these people contracts, but I'm going to see what they're interested in. He doesn't like what I can afford to offer him, no surprise there. Let's see. Can't afford this, can't afford this. We'll see how they feel about that. I don't think... he didn't mind it. Excellent. And him... Is your contract... Mentioning these people might have some trouble getting work permits, but I very rarely have actually had a work permit rejected, so I'll just try throwing contracts out to them anyway. The bigger deal is that they're not South African and that they might have a little bit of difficulty getting a work permit. But my scouts are really interested in foreign markets, and so I just kind of have to roll with that. I think this is the first time we've had to do this, but periodically we get updates on contract situations with players on our teams whose contracts might be ending at some point, although all of these are at least 6 months away. So you can just click apply recommended to all, but I like to go through and check them all manually, just because sometimes someone wants they recommend that we offer someone a contract. It hasn't happened this time, but sometimes we'll get recommendations to offer someone a new contract early, and I like to be aware of those recommendations before just going in and offering them a contract without me knowing about it, so this way I can make sure that I actually see it. The delays don't really matter. I'll never offer someone a contract when they recommend delaying longer, because I don't need to offer a new contract until we're almost at the end of the old one. And honestly, right now I need to get some contracts off the book. Oh, Roma decided to extend the contract of Viscidos. That's just as well. Berlin also extended Kessel's contract. I had hoped to get them in, but just as well, because more foreign players could be a problem. Mabule took a knock, but it's not a serious one, and we're so early in the break that it won't matter. And we still got 4 people coming in, even with those 2 contracts canceled. Keeps getting him, sure. Keeps getting him. Nice that they're actually recommending me some South Africans to look at for this transfer window, because I am so limited on foreign players. Like, I've got Reeve Fountain coming in now. I believe he is South African. Excellent. Mo Salah won Footballer of the Year. I don't think I voted for him, but he is definitely a deserving player in real life, so I can see that in the game too. We got 2 players named to the African Team of the Year with Ndlovu and Eriksson, so that's nice. Notice they're all South African, because it's clearly the strongest football market other than Egypt, which tends to go in with the Arab nations rather than the African ones for the most part. So we definitely have the strongest market. That's why my scouts have been over in Europe so much. In South America, because we're starting to exceed the talent level that's available even in South Africa. We brought Chintzy back. And the transfer window is now open. So we'll see how that plays out. I got a couple of people playing in, and I'm hoping to make some moves to help the finances. Like, we got Mitzi in for the youth team, and Migwigwi in for the youth team. And then we brought these 3 in for the first team. Oh, on the attacking side. So none of this helps me with the weakness of the defenses on my team. I am gonna listen to their initial suggestion for the new squad. And then let's see, Boshov's in. I do want to get rid of him, but we'll let him in until then. Domini, Eriksson, February, Fountain, Human, Jonas, Kenyeri, Mabena, Melula, Makatini, Makubili, Manaka, Margeman, Masimola. We're not bringing Matenjwa in this year, they don't think. Probably because he's wanted by Cosmos and we're hoping to get him out on loan. Oh, no, I was looking at the wrong one here. He's not wanted, but... Oh, he is. He's wanted by a couple of teams. We have him on the reserves. He's not listed with the main team. I'm okay with that. McFarlane, Malongo, Mirasavic, Matembu, Nidlovo. And then I got some more down here. Yeah, this looks pretty good. We're going to keep Nixele off the team this year because he's injured. We're expecting him back. He plays for the under 21, so I can bring him up anyway. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's usually good to take a look at that, even if you let the computer make the initial choices, because sometimes it can make some baffling decisions. It's not nearly as good at that as it is at picking starting players for a team that you're fielding. And when you bring in new signings, if you get an offer of getting someone to welcome them to the club, here's one of those contract renewals I was talking about. I don't know why Margeman didn't turn up there, but I definitely want to give him a new contract. I've been riding him hard. But what I was saying, you always want to get someone to welcome them to the club if you get the option. It tends to make them integrate better, and they'll get more benefit from training. They'll form better relationships. It's just all in all a very strong thing to do. Malloy, another forward. So the problem was I was going after attacking players early in the season, and then we took the pounding on the defense, and now I'm stuck without much in the way of defense, but all the contracts I've been chasing have been for attacking players, and so I'm still trying to bring them in. The Chinese are making a play for Eriksson, and even though I really want to hang on to him, we accepted it because they paid his release clause. So I have no say in this. I just have to hope he wants to stay here. Tucks are trying to hire Melanzi from us. That's fine. He was a mediocre striker. I'm alright with losing him. I need to get people off the books, and I'm painfully overloaded on strikers right now. They're all pretty mid, but I have a lot of them. We're losing a ton of money, like $2 million in a month. Oops. Oh, that's just the registration window being open. Yeah, that's cool. Granada won a friendly with us. When is that? March. Sure. Don't really care about that. I'm not involved in any of those. The board's cutting my transfer fund from 1.6 million to 218,000 because I'm spending so much money. That's rough when I really need to bring some people into the club, but I guess it means I just have to sell some people. Ledisa, who I don't play very often, but he was an integral part of the team previous years. Took a pretty serious ankle injury or knee injury, but hopefully he's recovered before too much time goes by. I think I have like 6 weeks, so he should be back. I also hopefully will never play him because I've upgraded my wings quite a bit. The board's pretty happy with me. This is still a major problem. I have no highly influential players. I'm hoping Eriksson becomes one, but there's a good chance he gets stolen. And that's one of the reasons I want to hang on to Sammy Seaby, because he's another big option to go up and bridge the team leaders to influential players gap. I don't have any highly influential players because I've just had such high turnover in the team. Almost every year, it has only loose recognition compared to the previous team. I have to take advantage of these couple of days where there's reserves games to just get people playing, because I don't want them going 6 weeks without a match. I don't want to have to go back to the start of the season levels of fitness, so I need to keep as many people playing as possible, which means unfortunately we get to sit through me making huge amounts of players available for the teams every time. But I also want to see who they want to take, so it's kind of important that I pay attention. Notably, the board has majorly cut the number of people they want me registering for the team, because they're trying to sell a lot of them. So you'll see like names that I had registered last time unregistered now, and we didn't get any sort of a notice about it. But I've just been noticing by paying attention ever since the new board's taken over that every sort of half season registration window, if I take the recommended registrations, it's cut down a lot. So clearly the assistant coaches and the board want me to lean more on reserves, or not reserves players, but under 21s players to fill out my team, instead of quite as many senior players. Like you'll notice Ben Williams is not registered right now. There's a chance I change that at the end of the transfer window when I see how the team's looking, but I can definitely get they're wanting to clear up the books a bit. We got the deal to sell Bashov that he's looking for, so that's possible. Wuhan's made an offer for Eriksson that I have to accept because they paid his release clause. Unfortunately, once again, they're targeting players I actually want to hold on to. Well, a player. I want to get rid of the goaltender. I don't need him, but I actually want to hold on to Eriksson. But if they do buy him, it will clear up quite a bit of my budget. Sammy's in a sulk because I didn't necessarily want to trade him, and the coaches aren't happy because I'm paying him a lot of money. So there's a good chance that even though I kind of said I wanted to hang on to him, there's a good chance he ends up getting traded because he's just too, or I don't renew his contract because he's just too expensive for what I'm using him for. When I'm not recording, I can get pretty into the weeds on this part of the season and spend like 2 hours, 3 hours going through one transfer window, but I'm trying to keep things rolling along a bit because this isn't the most interesting to watch. I'm leaving it in because it's important for when we have the next match. If I just jump to that and all of a sudden the team looks completely different, it's nice for people to know why that is. So that's why I'm leaving this in. And it's fun to watch our under 19s beat up on other teams. But I can see this getting a little boring. And unfortunately, we're getting Sundowns immediately out of the gate, so there's no chance to like ease into my new lineup. I just have to throw it out right away. Don't read too much into that 12-0. It's the reserves get put against incredibly unimpressive teams all the time. Mamad's doing good on his loan. Chisheng Gassi's back from his little injury. Curtis would be a good signing. Oh, good, new fullback that actually might come in. He's only got slight transfer interest, but I'm definitely going to try for him because I need fullbacks. There's like no chance I get that guy, but I'll send him a contract. What the hell? Another young fullback that useful. The only people they want me to make a try for are like not very good players, but and the scouting meetings will come a lot more frequent when we're in a transfer window like this. I think we get one every couple of days. The Magic are trying to hire Boshoff now. He's hoping Cosmos make an offer for him. I can't see Cosmos going for him. Sammy definitely wants out, and I think I'm going to have to let him go because he's expensive and he's getting really unhappy with how he's being used, or more accurately, that he isn't. Losing Melanzi isn't a big deal, and it gets his wages off my books, so that's pretty good. I mean, we're paying him $212,000 a year. Yeah, I'll give him playing time if he proves himself worthy. It's up to him to prove himself worthy, though. He's going to take that as me guaranteeing him playing time, which I'm definitely not. But if he can show himself to actually be worth putting into the first team, I'll definitely do that. I don't see that as caving. That's my rule on everyone. They're not going to give me any money from transfers because I'm so in debt. Yeah, Sammy took it as I'm giving him a lot of playing time. So he's going to get mad at me when I don't. But I told him I'd give him it if he proved himself worthy. It's not my fault if he misinterpreted that. For me, that means show up and practice and show that you're better than other players. Margeman accepted his new contract. That's good. With the board cutting my transfer budget so bad, I need to hang on to the players I've got. Barocco and Chikwekwe. They can have him. I mean, he's not really playing for us, and that'll help develop him. It's a much higher level than I had him loaned out to before when I called him back. Yeah. Brought both those guys in for the under-19s. I'm a little surprised they weren't defaulted to it. I thought they were. Nothing else of interest in there. That's nothing to do with us. I think we had tried for that guy on a contract, but he didn't go. Damn it. Wuhan got Ericsson. Not happy about that, but it does clear almost $1 million off a year off my books, so that's going to make the board happy. Yeah, I'm not happy that that happened, but he had a transfer fee or release clause. I had no choice but to let him go. Got a new defensive player coming in, but I won't get him till July 1st. That's unfortunate. He's not doing very well in practice. Yeah, I'll throw Malongo on this transfer list. I'm not really using him. Loan him out. Loan him out. Nothing else interesting here. Complaining about people's salaries. I definitely can't let February go, even though he's a high-earning player. If I drop him, I don't have a backup goaltender. If I get rid of the other one, who's also a high earner, Bashoff, and I think that's going to happen. Losing a player to Sundowns. It's unfortunate. I lost him, but I don't think I was really using him. It looks bad that I'm losing so many players, and like Ericsson hurt, but overall, this is what I had to do at the finances. The new board's just not investing in the team the way the old one was, and I brought in so many players towards the end of the old board's reign that now I need to get rid of some of them just because we don't have the money to pay for them all. So far, Ericsson was the only, I'd say, somewhat key player that we lost, and that was unavoidable because he had a release clause. So everything that I could have done something about, I'm pretty happy about it. The press are making a big deal about me selling a young player, but I need to get positive cash flow. We can't keep everyone. And the board's requirements or expectations for the season are relatively low, so now's the time to make those changes. That's probably why they didn't worry so much about me actually getting towards the top of the league table, because they knew that their vision for the team required us to sell a lot of people on and strip down the team, field a much worse team than we had been in the past, and just tried to settle into a mid-table club instead of what I had been working for, which is a top of the table treble winner, and I don't think that's what the new board wants. So I'm kind of having to get used to humbler aspirations. But with luck, I'll still be able to pull something pretty impressive off this season. And I definitely want to get good results in Africa. Chikwekwe is out on loan. That's really good that he's going to loan to a Premiership team. This will get him off my books for a while. It'll get him experience playing at this level, and hopefully next year I can actually play him because he's got a lot of potential. He just needs a little more seasoning. This guy doesn't want to come in because I'm not going to pay him enough. Boshoff got the deal he wanted. You can see like how much worse he was than most of the current team. We were only paying him $65,000 a year, like, or that's what the new team's paying him, which he was accepting. So that's comparable to what he was making with us, and that's kind of the level the team was at when I took it over. And I've been steadily building it up to be more expensive. And the new board is, it seems, trying to get us somewhat back to that. And so it's going to be a little bit of a rough transition period. Just like emotionally, because you get used to being a top club and all of a sudden we're not trying for that. And so we're going to have to adjust to being willing to lose a lot more games, not going after the truly top players because we just can't afford them. But it'll be interesting to see how things play out following this transition, and whether it even fully happens, because we're running up so much debt right now. There's a decent chance that the board just decides screw this and sells the team. Yeah, I'm not using him very often. He comes off the bench occasionally. I'm not using him at all, so yeah, he can go up for loan. Chikwekwe is already being played and already looking pretty good. No way we get this guy in our current financial situation, but I need more fullbacks, so I'm going to try for him. I'm really interested in South America. Oh, here we go, a guy from South Africa. He's a striker, though. Scouts aren't finding much I'm super interested in right now. I just brushed over that contract offer because the guy's 17. He's only playing for the under 19s. I have no experience with him yet. He's years out from being first team ready. I don't really care if he goes or not. Jonathan David finally ended his goal scoring drought, which is nice. And we're getting some more specialized training. This is something we really fell behind on towards the end of the season, just because we were so busy we weren't getting any training done, so we weren't able to work on any of the fancy stuff. Looks like Motung's leaving, or at least we've accepted the transfer bid, so it's up to him whether he leaves or not. But don't have any strong feelings about that guy. Bringing Maku in for just to get a look at him, a trial period. He looks really bad, so I don't think I want him. Nope, this is important. We're getting our draw for the first round of the FA Cup. This is the same as the FA Cup from Europe, or from England rather. Usually we could blow through a couple of rounds pretty easy unless we draw one of the top Premiership teams first off, which has happened to me one year. I think I got Pirates like first round. But they've been taken by the Galaxy, who will definitely lose to them. we got Highlands Park. So we did draw a Premiership side, but it's a weak Premiership side, so this should be fine. I actually Baroka got relegated. I've got that. I guess I didn't quite send Chick-Quay to the right level, but whatever. It's fine. I wasn't using him. Might as well get game time. So we drew Highland Park, which is not quite at our level. It's not as easy first round draw as I would have liked, but I feel pretty confident. They're 14th place, and look at this. We're having to move our match against Highland Park to make room for our match against Highland Park. So we're going to get to beat them up twice in the short order. Neither of those injuries are of much interest to me. They're just minor knocks that'll be cleared up in a couple days. I'm a little disappointed they might miss ball distribution training, but that's it. Bengu, another youth. They're hitting my youth squad pretty hard right now. I don't really care about that. They're so far out from actually being part of the team that doesn't matter. Another minor knock. We're starting to build them up, but they're... This is a problem. Shabalala got an abdominal strain, but that's not really my problem because we've sold him at the end of the season, so he's someone else's problem. Nick Selle is back. Even with all the sales I've made, I hope I don't play him. Pirates are trying to actually get Chikwekwe. I guess they really see something in him. We're losing Motung. That would have been a big deal a couple years ago. Now it's just getting money off the books. Margeman doesn't like the fact that he was let go, but I'm not playing the guy. Central indirect. Yeah, Margeman's not very good at that. We'll just leave that to Dlamini. That cleared it up. This is why I was meaning about it taking an emotional toll. The team, a lot of these people were brought in with promises of being at the top of the league, and now all of a sudden our aspirations are much more just don't suck. And that's going to make a lot of people unhappy. Yeah, I think I'm going to release Gilchrist as soon as his contract's up. I'm not going to renew him. Let Senamela be the vice captain. I'm kind of when I made Motung the vice captain, I thought I'd be using him a lot. Then I brought in Mabule. And Motung just lost his place. We're almost halfway through the big gap of no games. I always hate trying to get across this midwinter break. The summer break, or I guess winter break since I'm in the southern hemisphere here, doesn't feel nearly as annoying as this one because the season's over and I'm pretty content to spend a little while messing around getting things set up for the next season. But losing a month and a half in the middle of the season is always really rough. I liked last year because with the World Cup taking place in, I believe, December, it meant that we were having matches all through January, and so the season felt more in line with the traditional seasons that I'm used to from European and North American football. But now we're back to the traditional South African schedule, so we get this giant gap. I'm kind of glad that this year, at least, like the secondary teams aren't getting a huge amount of games in it either. Sometimes they get super congested schedules, and it makes this section of. I mean, it's good for team fitness for keeping them sharp, but it's so annoying to have to go through this like two or three times every week to get people set up for being able to go out with all the teams if their coaches want them and just trying to keep people playing football. And I can't just fast forward through here because it'll just absolutely mess up the team for when I get them back. It's nice to see everyone's working hard at practice. That's a good sign. That's one advantage of leaning down the team. We're getting rid of a lot of the. I don't want to say dead wood because they were people that were working hard in practice, but we're giving everyone a kick in the ass by selling a bunch of players, and so a lot of the people that just kind of slacked around are all of a sudden like, oh, I better work or I'll be going somewhere else. Lush Jaquekwe, that is a little unfortunate, but not the biggest deal. I'm wondering if I should recall him from Baroka and try to get some use out of him, but. Or at least just. I could be an absolute dick and try to stifle his development by recalling him and just not using him so that I hopefully weaken Pirates in the future, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to play fair. I'm not going to sabotage some poor kid's career just because he got signed to a team I have trouble beating. All these good players we've scouted, and we can't afford to try to sign them. Gilchrist wants to transfer. I will accept that. I'm not using him. I was trying to get him off my books. I'm going to laugh my ass off if no one else wants him. Here we go. Now we're getting to a section of where we might be able to get a little more progress. Oh, look, people actually want Gilchrist. I'm not going to try to persuade him to stay. I want him off the books. I don't think I've played Gilchrist once this season. So I'm perfectly happy with him going. Maka's trial period ended. I'm not interested in signing him. He wasn't very good, and yeah, he can go. Masiago got hurt. That's a problem for the under 19s. Absolutely nothing interesting in the development summary. That's the problem when you're not playing. People aren't really developing. And hey, Mabule can now speak English. I can actually communicate with the guy when he's on the pitch. He was this good when I couldn't talk to him. McFarlane picked a minor not. The transfer window is actually going pretty well. I'm getting rid of a lot of people, which I wanted to do. And most of the people I'm getting rid of, I don't miss. Shows how bloated the roster got. We're really trying to thin things out. They want me to loan out more people. I'm going to go along with it because we definitely need to clear the money situation. It should be a lot better without Eriksson, but that was not the solution I wanted to go for. Hopefully these people actually, or this team actually plays Gilchrist today when I send him over, because I want to make him look as appealing as possible, so one of those teams that made an offer for him actually signs him. He was one of my bigger mistakes. I brought him in. Turned out I couldn't use him. And he's just been cranky the whole time because I can't use him. Which is fair. I brought him in from England to come play in South Africa, and then he doesn't get to play. So he moved to South Africa for nothing. I can't really blame the guy being cranky, moving halfway across the world, and not even getting any career advancement from it. But those are the risks you take. There we go, everyone's available to both teams again. Boshoff has managed to injure himself in addition to me trying to sell him. Not sure why Malongo has suddenly decided to be terrible at training. He's not doing anything to justify me continuing to pay him those high wages. And you can see how much financial trouble the team's in, though. I've never been getting notices about high wages before. So, That's definitely a side effect of the team being in dire financial straits at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to try to ride this out until we get more money coming in. Almost to the end of the transfer window. That's good. Once the transfer window closes, we're almost ready to start actually having matches again. Hopefully I can sell a couple more excess players during that last week. But I don't know if I will be able to. Oh, an actually good signing that they'll actually let me try for. Of course, he's Russian, so could potentially be a problem getting him onto the team. Good, I'm starting to get work permits on those people I'm trying to bring in, like Ward. And of course, he's another forward. I don't need more forwards. Another forward. Tried to keep it on hold, and hopefully I can get some more money in. I've already sent this guy a contract. He's accepted. I don't really want more forwards in the club, but I feel bad just going no after I've sent the guy a contract, just because our financial situation changed. He definitely deserves a call up from the Congo. He's been playing great. Oh, only $700. I was excited for a second, but it's Ishmael bringing in $700. I was thinking this might let me pay off. Here we go. I sold Gilchrist to an Italian team. This might mean I can actually afford to bring in that second player. Shobeni got himself hurt pretty. It's just a bruise, but it's a very serious bruise, because he's not able to play at all. No reason to burn bridges with Gilchrist. He was a pain in my ass the entire time he was in the club, but I never know when I'm going to need to work with him again, so let's not burn any bridges. He's not a bad player, he's just not as good as the other options I had available to me. And he was foreign, which made it difficult. We're down to just 15 days until we start getting matches again. I feel like I've almost gone a full normal recording session. I haven't even gotten to the meat of the session yet today. Oh good, television money. Please, more money. We need income. We're starting to stack up quite the injury list, but they're all minor injuries. I'm going to be able to tweak around the Confederation Cup registration soon. That's nice. That'll be helpful with all the changes I've made to the squad. or that have been made for me in the case of Ericsson. Dye's not getting any play. We tend not to make huge moves in January, so it's unfortunate that the financial problems are probably going to continue all spring. But I hope I can dump a ton of people in the summer transfer window. Just empty out my roster. It's going to make next season rough. But I need to get us back into positive cash flow. With the current board I have, it may be a mistake to let them keep extending, to not retake the control of sending out contracts to me personally, because I left that in the board's hands. Because if you don't know, you can delegate a ton of the tasks of the head coach to other people. And I delegated the when I first took over to save with the old board, I delegated the task of hiring players to the board, and I've just been letting them go. Same thing with selling players. That's why I don't really have a lot of say in some of the sales that I'm not happy about. I mean, Ericsson was in a case of him having a release clause, so nothing I could do there, even if I had personal control of hiring and selling players. They could have just bought their way past that. But like when I lost players earlier in the year, and I was quite upset about it. It would have been really nice to have the control myself, but because I had delegated it to the board, they were just able to go ahead and sell players out from under me. McQuaquin is taking a knock. No one's in red, though. That's good. I could play everyone if I needed to, and we still have 2 matches before I do, or 2 weeks before I do. He's getting fed up that I keep pointing out how good he's doing at training. But yet he had a perfect week of training. So, don't be so good if you don't want me to tell you it. I've never seen someone get a perfect week of training before. Yeah, I'll take part in the closing of the transfer day. I'll do this. I haven't seen any offers to sell him. Here's where I tried to see what my final team lineup they want is. Boshoff in, Domini, February, Fountain, Human, Jonas, Kenyerere, Mabena, Melula, Makatini, Makubele, Manaka, Margman. Massamola, McFarlane, Malongo, Mirosavljevic, Matembu, Ndlovu, Nel, Nagubene, Otladisa, CB, Sinaga, Shinga, Sabia, Zafima, Siasi, Jane, Shabalala, Shobeni, and Walker. Couple players there I'd kind of like to see in the squad that it doesn't want to bring, like Williams. Why doesn't it want Williams? And where is he? I'm going to put Williams in. And Mapule in. Now I think I'm happy with it. Tunkara and Dyer in. He's only 21, so I think still bring him in without registering him. Masamula has been sold. He's not going to free up much money. Yeah, our transfer budget is non-existent at the moment. I'd be fine with McFarlane leaving. I barely use him. Yeah, I'll loan him out. If I don't recognize the name, I'm definitely willing to loan him. Have someone to, no, I didn't have anyone to loan up. Final scouting meeting of this transfer window. And there we go. Now that the transfer window is pretty much closed, it should be a faster coast into the actual matches. I could not afford to bring in Koami. That's fine, he's a forward. I don't really need more forwards at the moment. Now we'll head into the second half of the season. Manaka, what's your issue? He's losing trust with the coaching staff. What is he salty about? Just couldn't fit him in. Huh. I actually saved that one. Usually they never accept that. Farlane doesn't like him. Trying to explain to people that... Yeah, that's how it usually goes, doesn't... They don't like it that I can't fit everyone on that team. But it's actually been going pretty well at it. I'm actually managing to turn things around more than usual, given everything going on. Definitely want them to scout the FA Cup, even though there's some weaker talent in South Africa than their scouts want to look at. We need to be looking at South African talent, so I need to keep trying to force them to go to these competitions that they think are beneath our current squad. We managed to stop the bleeding a little bit. We lost just about as much money as we did last month, but we didn't have a single match this month. So once we start having actual income again, we might be alright. We're finally getting to a point where we're close to actually having matches happening. I don't know what's taking it so long to process this day. There was only one match there. Apparently it was complicated. Or it's just getting slow because I've been recording a while. That could be annoying. Looks like that is what's happening. It's just getting slow because I've been recording for a while. How long has it been? Hopefully it doesn't get too bad before we get those two matches knocked out. Adam. Looks fine. Sure, we'll try to bring you in. Oh, we're speeding back up again. It was just a rough spot. Make another chance to get this guy improved coaching. Oh, we can't afford to. That's rough. Might have to change a lot of my coaching staff in the off season too if we just can't afford anything. Looks like they're giving me a tiny bit of transfer money again. Just because we managed to sell so many people. Oh no, it was television money, never mind. Here we have a problem. Aquakwana took an injury. I could give him an injection and keep him in, but I'm going to send him to physio and just accept that I'm not going to have him for the next month. That's a really big problem, though, because we had basically built the team around him being the striker for this half of the season. And Boshoff got hurt. This is starting to look like a normal season for me now, with just constant injuries. It's Boshoff, though. I don't really care about that. McFarlane's only knocked for 2 days. Oh, they had something else they wanted to tell me about Torre. Oh, he's expensive. Yeah, that's just because I'm in financial trouble. Couldn't get the Russian guy I was looking at earlier. That's not a big deal. Well, my scouts still like looking at strikers. I mean, I'll make a try for them. Because the board's going to try to hire them anyway, so. Ah, free sports scientist. That's a good thing. Get him to recommend some signings. Shipek. I don't think I've even told them to look at Shipek. Like, the board's just sending contracts to random people now. They wonder why we're in financial trouble. At least we're getting back into having matches again. Pretty big changes to the team, but that's to be expected with all the shuffling around I've done. So let's set things up. Snaga's better this way. Siasi's not going to improve. Fountain is good there. Sefema, that's as good as he's going to be. Not bad. I'm able to slot things together better than I hope. Fountain's not ideal. Sefema's not ideal. Other than that, we're looking pretty good. Oh, Senamela's not ideal. Other than that, we're looking pretty good. I mean, Sundowns should beat us, but that's the problem. They're a substantially better player. Or a better team. If we do manage to steal the win, I'll be very happy. That'll position us well for the rest of the season. But we're in a position where we can afford to lose a match without too big a deal. I forgot to look at what type of free kick that was supposed to be. Just free kick direct. Okay. And that was, my memory's terrible, Saket Long. Got a lot of people who are good at direct free kicks. No one's currently assigned to throw-ins. I don't love having a hard team as our first match of the half of the season because we're going to be trying to get people used to new positions here. Mattia got hurt. Now we're starting to stack the injuries really bad. Look at this. Like, all of a sudden we're up to 5 injured players, 4 of them severely. I haven't hit a lot of my key players, but it's going to show when I have to make substitutions later in the season. And another serious injury. I think a lot of this is just down to our terrible pitch. Sassy's bounced back. McFarlane's bounced back. That's nice, but they're not players that I really worry too much about having. At least we're playing away on a good pitch. Good conditions for a match. This shouldn't cause much problem. Yet now I'm going to keep us balanced. And because of those injuries, we did have to shuffle things around quite a bit, and it's not ideal. I feel like we're fielding an even worse, or a worse team now, but things are looking actually a little better. Let's see. Melula is not good at all, but that's a change that I think had to happen. Senamela is not great. Saketlong's not very good. We're slightly worse, but we've got a lot of good players too. And this isn't a match I'm trying to win. I think with those 2 injuries, I just had to suck it up. That's really all I want, is just for them to impress me. I don't expect us to win this game. Not with a largely new team that's unfamiliar with playing together against the second best team in the league. That's a whole half star above us. If we can get through this game quickly without much happening, I'll actually be very happy. You can see, like there, they hesitated because just not familiar with playing together, not familiar with actual game pace. And I picked up a knock immediately. Melula took an injury, but it doesn't seem very serious. We almost actually got ahead there. That would have been nice. I'm very happy with the fact that nothing happened for that half of the football. I'm not getting a lot to check out in the viewing side of things, but I haven't been in any real danger of losing so far. And that's big. We're actually ahead on possession and shots. It's very slight on both. They may have actually taken the possession side of things back with that long period there. And there they got their goal because Nidlovu was fumbling the ball a bit, which is not too surprising because he hasn't played for the last month and a half. Even though I made him available to the other teams, no one actually went with him. So we see there it bounced off his back and they were able to score. I wasn't expecting to win this match, so I'm not too upset. We're playing well overall, and that's really all I wanted. This is really just to get comfortable with your new positions game. It'll be our first loss in like 4 months, so that's pretty good. We've been relatively effective at barely losing any games this season, and I like that. Honestly, I think we got ourselves into a good enough position that I can't fail to meet the board's expectations for the season at this point. It's going to be really hard unless I just lose everything for us to fall out of the positions they want me in. As the game's gone on, second half, Sundowns have really started to take control, but that's what we expected. We knew they were the better team coming in. They were the better team before I lost a couple of top players just trying to get my budget under control. But we're still being scrappy. Even the relatively poor playing. Oh, as I say that, he messes up. I was going to say Saketlong's actually looking alright, despite him being relatively poor in that position. But then he made a big mistake and turned over the ball. And I'm supposed to be making a sub. Let's see. Ooh, Zane Walker is playing horrendous. Guess that's my change. Got a lot of other changes I kind of like the way I make, but getting rid of Walker for Matenjwa is just necessary when he's at a 6.1. They almost got their second goal of the match there. Matenjwa's looking alright in that position. He's not great, but he was the only person I had that I could put in there, and I needed to get Walker out. Now you're getting to see the depth issues I was talking about earlier in the game. Once we start stacking up a bunch of injuries like this, I'm constantly forced to play weaker squads that don't have all the coverage I'd like. Everyone's all of a sudden playing much better, so changing out Matenjwa has woken everyone up. No one's overly tired. So I think I'll just hit people who are playing the worst, which is Cinnamella. So I'll bring in Foster. He's not going to be great in that position either. But the only way he's going to get more comfortable there is if he just has to suck it up and do it. He's really bad at that position, but Cinnamella was my worst player, And Foster needs to learn. I'm not expecting to win this game anyway. He might as well learn now. He can get 20 minutes playing there and hopefully get a little more comfortable. We're still ahead on possession. They've been really taking control with shots, but we're still possessing the ball, which is nice. We got a decent contingent of traveling fans. I think as we've been moving to like less impressive players, we've been bleeding a bit of fan support, which is unfortunate. I guess Siasi, take off for Human. Get Human some minutes. Can Fountain play back there? No. So Human was my best choice to bring in, but I don't really have anyone that's good in that position, so I'm going to try something risky and just try to get the ball moving up the pitch a bit with Human playing as a defensive midfielder, where he's also bad, so this is probably a mistake. But I'm going to see if we can at least get a goal. Just the last 10 minutes, shake things up a bit. It's given our first attack on net for a while. They actually looked aggressive there. They were covering pretty good, but perhaps my strange formation actually would have paid off if there were another 5 minutes in the game. Melilla got his 25th appearance for us. Saket Long made his debut for us. Fountain made his debut for us. Walker made his 25th appearance for us. So that's nice. That was disappointing, but I wasn't expecting to win that one. Oh. Orlando Pirates might have to pay us some money. That would be nice. Sundown's just changed coach. I wonder why they did that when they're so well positioned. See if I can get Tori to waive that clause. We just cannot afford it. First, I will try to talk him up a bit. Tell him he's playing well. And apparently I lost the option for him to waive that clause. Oh well. I think he deserves the money even if the board can't really afford it. Whoa. What a hit to the budget we've taken. I mean, most of that is just the fact that we weren't playing matches for a month, so it's not really something to worry about. It's very difficult to make money when people aren't buying tickets to see anything. But we're going to have to sell so many players. Here we go. Get a good team for this one. This is the squad I like to see in there. I mean, we're just going to dominate them. And here's the board still trying to bring people in, even though we can't afford it. 4 or 5 attackers. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I don't know if I agree on the minis assessment of that group. I think we're going to win. Oh, and Foster's out for a while. We're really starting to stack up the injuries. Things are going to start getting real interesting for us going forward. Still no one's struggling at practice, which is really nice. We had all those people upset about my picking of the team for the second half of the season, but no one seems to be holding a grudge about it. Like, we actually got through the discussions with the team really well, and that's what having a good locker room culture does. They're much more willing to listen when you're like, look, just selection was difficult, and some of you couldn't make the cut. It was going to happen to someone. Definitely want to let these unregistered players play for the reserves while we're in Mozambique. CS is the only player coming off of something medical, and he's fine, so don't have to pay attention to that at least. Perfect pit, or very good pitch. Hot weather, but not dangerously hot. This match should go pretty well for us. Tunkara from Mabule. Interesting recommendation. They seem to be about the same. Let's actually give Tunkara a look. I've been happy with Mabule, but let's see what this Tunkara can do. He's new, so try him out here. See how things go. If things aren't working, I can always sub Mabule back in. I mean, I'm really not worried about the results of this one. This is like the worst team in the group. It's a small pitch, which I don't love. I complained about that at our last African match. It makes it really tough for our wing style to work, but when we're playing this team, we should dominate them easily anyway. We've got a very strong team in against a very weak team. A small pitch shouldn't matter. Although, we are rusty after that long layoff. And this pitch is tiny. This one makes the last small pitch we were playing on look big. It's actually benefiting them. They're looking a lot better than they did when they came to Amazula because the distances are so small that their mistakes aren't capitalized on as easily. Right, Toonkar's got decent moves. See, different philosophy on crossing. Mabule would have crossed that across the front of the goal, whereas Tunkara goes back to marksman on at least his first cross. And there we got our first goal 4.5 minutes into the game from Zane Walker. So even though I'm saying this pitch really doesn't favor our style and it's going to make them look better, they're still going to lose. They're not a threat just because this pitch is bad for us. It's just going to keep us from running up like 10 goals again. We're probably looking at about 6, I'd say. Although I find sometimes that Amazulu travels really poorly outside of South Africa. As Walker gets his second goal of the game, he's got a brace and it's 8 minutes in. This might just be a massacre. Looks like we have some brothers on their team. I saw 2 Josiases there. Oh, 3, the goaltender as well. It's a family affair. Can Walker get a hat trick inside of 10 minutes? No. But Tunkara's... Okay, Tunkara's decent so far. He's got a goal. We're up 3, and my estimate might actually have been off. This could be ugly for them. Which is good after the effects... after the chaos of the transfer window we just had. I think the guys need a boost of just mercilessly pummeling some other team. We're basically scoring on every second shot on net right now. Junior Torre gets a goal in. It's 15 minutes, we've got 4. I definitely think I'm going to be subbing in some of the worst players we have on the bench for my subs. Just get them some minutes and try to get them better because I'm not going to need to keep the good players out there. We're already up by 4. This isn't on aggregate, so the domination we had before doesn't count towards this, but still, I don't see them coming back from a 4-goal deficit. There's a lot of game to be played, and they are at home, but I think the skill difference is just too great. I believe, if I remember correctly, these guys are only semi-pro. So, like, we're playing against butchers and stuff right now. So I think my goal for the rest of the match is just don't get hurt. I can't afford more injuries. Tunkara almost got his brace. I'm definitely... So that right wing position is really strong between Mabule and Tunkara. Even though their boat only rated at 2.5 stars, their boat so far looking impressive. I mean, this isn't the best measure. It's a very weak team we're playing, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from Tunkara anyway. Even that was really good play to get it back to Walker instead of trying to shoot on goal from an unstable position. Don't know what we're getting VAR'd about. Apparently just a yellow card for Timbe. And Dlamini immediately scores, so 5 goals. I guess 6 for the entire match. We're at 5 and it's not even 30 minutes in. The small pitch and the heat is clearly not bothering us. That just went straight through a gap in the wall. Torre had a bit of trouble controlling that, but we've got it back now. There's Tunkara's brace, so we've got the 6 goals, still under 30 minutes. I could back off, but there's a possibility that goal differential is going to matter, so I kind of need to keep attacking. Because I'm likely going to be tied with the second place team on actual come until I play them again. So I kind of need to keep the attack on here just to run up the goal differential as much as possible. Try to steal first place in case we draw again. And Torres got his brace. 7 goals in under 30 minutes. I think we're going to get first place by ourselves because our next game is a home game. So I don't think we're going to draw again there. But because we're going to have a much more favorable pitch and a hopefully much stronger team on the field. But always got to hedge those bets. Because I don't think they're going to be letting up on goals, so. It's nice to be getting Safema a little more comfortable in the position, too. Although this really isn't going to help my defensive line develop since they're not under any threat. Williams scores. We're up to 8 goals, barely over 30 minutes. I hope I can hold on to Williams during the off season. Sanaga is another player I want to get more comfortable in their position. Once again, he's a fullback, so this isn't exactly going to test his skills any, but it might just get him feeling a little more comfortable viewing the pitch from back there. We might have just gotten a penalty. Second VAR call against the... Yep, we got a penalty. Walker's going to take it. So this should be 9. Zane Walker gets us to our 9th, 37 minutes in. This could be my highest scoring match ever. think my previous high score was 15. We're starting to make a few mistakes, though, just because we're getting cocky. Ten goals, still in the first half. Domini this time. Looked like he was going for a bicycle kick on that one. A lot of times when there's a hot start like this, they just completely switch off at the half, though. They'll come back out and not be able to hit anything. So that's when I have to shake things up with my substitutions. I don't think Mabule is going to be seeing the pitch today because I'm going to want to get some of the bad players' experience, but we'll see how things go. Starting to run out of stuff to talk about while this is going on. It's just putting me in mind of the Simpsons meme of stop, stop, he's already dead. I feel bad for them having to come back out and play another half of football after this. Because it's not going to go better for them. They're not getting 10 goals back. This is what I mean, like, about the second half. We're already starting to slow down. We're just not getting as good shots anymore. Teams getting complacent. They're just shooting from wherever. They don't really care. There's absolutely nothing I can do about that, though. I can't really yell at them because they're up 10-0. So I can't tell them they're doing bad. And telling them they're doing good is just going to make them complacent. We can see the opposition's made 2 subs already. So if they take any injuries, which they've already gotten a couple of knocks, but not that serious, they're going to be in real trouble. Like, worse than they're already. Although I suppose it's the same idea for them. They need to just put players out there that need experience in their positions. Hopefully this isn't too demoralizing for those players because the damage was done before they took the pitch. But it's a dangerous position for them. It's a good thing they're all randomly generated and will cease to exist after this match, one way or the other. Domini gets another goal, so we're up to 11. That's good. At least we've got something from the second half. They haven't completely shut down. Decent traveling contingent of fans. They're getting treated to a good show today. There's almost another one from Dlamini. But you can see we're starting to really let off the gas. I've still got them set to attacking, but they're just taking it easy now. It's cool that the game simulates that they check out if they're too far ahead. One good scare and I'll be right back into it, but unless they get that, I think it's going to be a lot slower second half. And when Beira get the ball, they're just dumping it out. They know they don't really have a chance. Dlamini gets another one, so we're up to 12 goals. The push for the highest score ever is still on. And they make their last sub, so any injury now is devastating to them. I suppose they're just going to try anything to stop the bleeding, though. I can't say I entirely blame them. It would be really hard to have the discipline to hold on to a sub in a match like this. Tunkara gets a hat trick. I'm really happy with how he's playing. We just kept crossing back and forth until an opening appeared. Alright, let's see. Everyone's playing amazingly. Obviously. No one's really even remotely tired. I suppose beating a team this bad is energizing, so I guess it's just get Margeman off there. He's the worst player, he's the most tired, and he has a yellow card. So we'll bring Tao in. He's not very good in this position, but that's what I wanted. I want to try to work on getting people some experience in positions they're not great in. So even though he's only 2 stars, it's good. I'll get him some practice playing as a defensive player, and since he's so offensively minded normally. And he immediately gets the ball to try to make something happen, and succeeds as Tori gets another goal. We're up to 14. Tao seems to be settling into his new position well. I'm not sure if I even registered the changes I made to him before. Okay, it did. It's not asking me if I still want to go through with them. That's 15. We've tied my highest ever score in a match. And the wild thing is, this is them letting off the gas still. Like, we're not scoring as much as we were in the first half. That was a bad shot from Walker. Oh my god, look at all that red on their team. There's only 2 players that are playing decent. Everyone's looking amazing. Sinago's the worst player out there. So I'll bring on Adam for him. Adam some practice. As good as he's going to be. Another 2-star that I just want to get some comfort. Although, like I was saying, for fullbacks, he's not really going to get pressured at all, so he's not going to get much practice, but at least he'll get a little more comfortable looking at the pitch from that position. Never know when I'm going to need to put him in and it's actually going to matter. Good goaltending from them there. Their goaltender, like, even though we're really bullying them, their goaltender's not horrendous. This could be a lot worse. Mirsavic almost scored. Alright, last sub. Guess it's gonna be Mirsavic who gets yanked for Melula. Just try to get more defensive players with some experience. Of course, we need to wait till they fire another ball out of bounds before I can actually bring in Melula. Or we score. Walker gets his hat trick. Assisted by Tunkar again, who's been playing amazingly. So that's 16, and as far as I can remember, that is my highest scoring match of all time. Oops. Yeah, Melula's not going to get any better. Another 2-star player. So this is perfect. This is what I wanted to do with this game. Bring in a couple of the bad players and get them some experience. Everyone I've subbed in has been a 2-star, which is perfect. Hopefully I can knock them at least up to 2.5-star before I have to sub them in a premiership game. And now I'm just ready for nothing to happen for the last few minutes. This match is so far over, and this has been a marathon recording session, so I'll be very glad when it's done. And the team's not really trying to get stuff on goal right now. They're just firing anything in that direction. I'm actually amazed how engaged they still are. Can Walker get 4? Probably not, given the number of people that have pulled back ahead of him. Yeah, that was a weak attempt on the goal there. The refs are even just like, yeah, nothing worth running the clock long. Oh, and we do get 17 goals. Managed to get another one in there anyway. I think that might be Torre's third. VAR wants to take a look at it, though. That might be getting called back for offside. And I believe it was. He was just barely offside. I can't really complain when I'm up 16 goals, though. And that's it. The pain's over for them. That's actually kind of sad. We achieved exactly what was expected with our 16 goal winning margin. It was Margman's 200th appearance, though, and Melula's 125th. So I'll finish up the day and then check what we have next time. We can see it on the screen there, but we'll take a proper look at the teams we're playing next week, and that'll be it. The highlights exceed the size of the page. That almost never happens. And Dlamini's our player of the match. Even though he didn't score the most goals, he set almost everything up. So that went pretty well. So join us next time where, once I get scrolled down to it, here's February, we take on Wits in league play. They're comparable to us in reputation, but we should be much better than Wits, even with going with a much weaker side for the second half of the season. And then we have Tetuan at home. Once again, they're only half a star below us, but we should be able to beat them fairly comfortably at home, which should cement us in first place for the group. So that'll be an interesting match. Hope to see you back for that one, which will be a lot less lengthy than this video that we've recorded today. And thanks for watching, everyone. Have a